the way this bird flies around, she's got what we call in having a light wing loading. Now all that means is she doesn't weigh that much. She only weighs around about 850 grams, but she's got very large wings, so she's able to soar and glide around the place without using very much energy at all. And because of that reason, she would only have to eat around about 5% of her body weight per day, which is not a great deal. All that would be a small handful of insects, or maybe a mouse, and get this bird through the day quite easily. I'll just meet through here, please. Now, we're very lucky to have whistling kites here in Australia. They are carrion feeders. That means they will feed on dead things, what they find on the ground. Do a great service in cleaning things up for us. They're also great hunters. They feed on frogs and reptiles and birds, small mammals. And what you saw Kiara doing earlier on was catching something up in the air, is what they would do if they were catching insects up in the air. Now most of the time what they do is they catch those insects with their talons, with their clawed feet, and then very quickly pass that to their beak and feed on the wing. And the reason they feed so quickly is because quite often you will get a number of whistling kites all hunting in the same area. You might get 50 or 100, even 200 whistling kites if there's lots of food around. And they will steal from each other. Okay, it's a lot easier stealing your food from another whistling kite than going to look for your own. Now one last thing about whistling kites is they have learnt to live with people, which is a great thing. Lots of people around these days. If you can learn to live with people, your chances are a lot better. Probably never see this bird on any endangered list, or we hope not. But you will see them around rubbish tips, abattoirs, fishing ports. They'll even steal the odd sausage off a barbecue. Alright, I'm going to give Kiara one last catch. I'll make it a hard one. Give her a round of applause if she gets that. Alright, like a well-trained bird, she's headed off home. I love it when it works like that. It's great. Alright, now we can move on to our next bird. The next bird you're about to see is the third largest bird of prey here in Australia. It's not the reason why we're bringing this bird out. I'm going to show you something very unusual with this next bird. You're looking at the black-breasted buzzard. Want to come out here? Even more of a mouthful than that, this is Beatrice, the black-breasted buzzard. And she can soar and glide around the place just the same as the whistling kite. But I'm going to keep Beatrice a little bit lower to the ground. A lot lower to the ground. A little bit quicker. To show you a very unusual behaviour. It's got to do with what these birds feed on. And once again they will feed on frogs and reptiles and birds, small mammals, anything up to the size of a rabbit. But what we know about black-breasted buzzards, oh my goodness, you'll fly a little bit, darling. What we know about black-breasted buzzards is their habit of robbing nests. So they rob nests up in the trees of eggs and chicks, eat the both of those, all in their own good time. Come on, darling. And they also come down to the ground. You can see this bird's very comfortable here on the ground. Here in Australia we have a number of birds will also nest on the ground. And one of those larger birds would be the emu. And I have a pretend emu egg here. It's just a plaster cast of an emu egg. It's about the same shape and size, just as strong. If you've ever tried to get into one of these eggs, you'll realise they've got a very thick shell. Okay, you nearly need a hammer to get into these eggs. Black-breasted buzzards have learnt how to get into these eggs, and I'm hoping Beatrice will show you how it's done. Those talons there, they're very strong. Not quite big enough to wrap around an egg that size. Egg's a bit slippery. That beak there is just used for tearing meat, so she needs a bit of help. She knows I've got it right here. Let's see what happens when she finds herself a rock. Okay, lining it up. You have to do better than that. I'm going to go pick up... Oh, she got a little hole in there. Let's see if we can get her mind off that egg for 1 second. I'll turn it around. See if she'll do that for us one more time. So if you missed that, she's picking up a rock, using it as a tool. A lot of people think that this is just a trick, what we've taught our black-breasted buzzard. It's not a trick. Well done. All we had to do is put an egg and a rock in front of a black-breasted buzzard. Don't know how to do the rest. She got a hole in there. Give her a round of applause. Well done. Okay, it's instinct. It's something they're born with. There's only one other bird in the world that shows that same type of behaviour, and that would be the Egyptian vulture. You'd have to go all the way to Africa to see that bird. So very lucky.